And I would like to extend my special thanks for our hosts, Anish and Aditi, for opening the doors of their homes and their hearts. Yes, definitely. So we'll start off with Mangalacharan prayers, and then we can do the Gita class. And I have a pleasant surprise for you this evening. Hopefully that is something that's going to give you happiness. But we'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sarivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarana Lalita Shri Shakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Paramami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I think the weather is changing.
Yeah,
It's really getting hot. We are going to break all the records for next week. We will have 90 degrees next week for 3-4 days. That's an excellent idea. You can open here as well. That's beautiful. We completed 42 verses from
Yes,
the third
42.
chapter, the last one, right?
yes.
Yes. We'll do that. Any questions, comments before we start? All right, let's do. All we can give these copies
Yes.
of Gita, and so just for those, anybody here for the very first time today? Right. So just to give a quick recap, in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks of Karma Yoga, where one performs one's action and tries to offer that action to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And a lot is discussed in the third chapter. Krishna talks of karma, Krishna talks of how one can perform one's duty and achieve perfection. And Arjuna asks this question, like, by what a person is impelled to perform sinful activities, as if there is some force that is pushing from the behind. And Krishna answers that it is that selfish passion, that is uncontrolled mind that can take over, and a person can behave in a very negative fashion. And he also mentions that where these particular where is the lust sitting in the body and how to overcome it. Right? So the last verse of the third chapter, 43, 343. Kindly repeat after me. Evam buddhe param buddhva.
Evam buddhe param buddhva.
Samstavyatmanam
Samstavyatmanam
Jahi shatrum mahabaho.
Jahi shatrum mahabaho.
Kamarupam durasadam.
Kamarupam durasadam.
Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material sense, mind, and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this unstable enemy known as lust.
Thank you. You can read the purport, the explanation. It's a very short, but very, Prabhupada really summarizes the entire chapter in that.
Hare Krishna. This third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is conclusively directive to Krishna consciousness by knowing oneself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without considering impersonal voidness the ultimate end. In the material existence of life, one is certainly influenced by propensities for lust and desire for dominating the resources of material nature. Desire for overloading and for sense gratification is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul, but by the strength of Krishna consciousness, one can control the material senses, the mind, and the intelligence. One may not give up work and prescribed duties all of a sudden, but by gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in a transcendental position without being influenced by the material senses and the mind, by steady intelligence directed towards one's pure identity. This is the sum total of this chapter. In the immature stage of material existence, philosophical speculations and artificial attempts to control the senses by the so-called practice of yogic postures can never help a man towards spiritual life. He must be trained in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence.
So here, I think the first thing Krishna mentions is that we are Atma. We are not the body. And then the question is, then who has put us in this condition and why are we struggling in this world? And it is mentioned that Krishna says that there is the third chapter he introduces to whom the work must be offered. Otherwise, when I perform work, it is for myself. Yes? Tomorrow Rama gets a job in the company. He gets the job of COO of Google. And then he asks for his salary structure. He says he'll get $10,000 a year. He says that too in good time. If the company does well, you'll get that. Otherwise, work for free. Why are you after results? So Rama will politely decline. That is not the purpose. The purpose is, initially he'll think that it is for me. I need that money. But the idea is, you still have to ask for that money, but that money is to be used for service of Krishna. So Krishna consciousness doesn't mean, okay, if he's giving $10,000 a year, I will stay on the homeless in the street and get some money and then that is all God. No, that is not God. All of a sudden, Prabhupada says you cannot just give up work. It is impossible. And he says also, because you have a certain nature, you are forced to act. Every Monday we curse, every Monday we act. And on the Mondays we don't act, we feel strange. Maybe we should act. And think about it. I mean, some people who got extraordinarily rich, like the CEO of Amazon and Larry Ellison of Oracle. They work long past what they made their money. Yes or yes? It's like they could have retired long time ago, but they were continuing to work, because money was not giving them satisfaction. The work was, or just being useful, being a productive member. So, inspired by your own nature, you will anyway act. But how to direct that actions in a way that you are not implicated in this world? That is Krishna's, that is that fine art of living in this world, but not living for this world. Otherwise, you will be living in this world, you will be living for the world, and you will be continuing to living for the world. And Krishna will give different bodies in this world, and then the struggle continues. The last time when we saw the video, I mean, if everyone is there for the video, I just want to make the point is that even the geese also gave birth to the young. The geese also had the problem of finding food. They had to find a shelter. I mean, the whole idea of giving the birth on a 400 feet cliff was so that they would be able to protect. They would be able to, if they give on the ground, like imagine, at least at the 400 feet, the chicks came out. On the ground, it would have been impossible. So then the problem was, now as soon as the chicks are born, the parents can't get food. I mean, eagle or other birds can actually fly into the sky. They can get a prey, they come back to the nest, they feed their young. It is a problem still because the young are helpless, completely helpless till the mother comes. Correct? Yes, sir?
Yes.
But in the case of geese, there was no way they could fly. They don't have that wings to fly so much of a 1.5 mile, pick up something, come back and feed the young. So what was our choice? The young also had to come. So you can see how animal life is extraordinarily difficult, extraordinarily challenging. And you don't have anything. And the human form of life, you have so much. Please pass the message to people who are depressed and who think that, life is not worth living. You have no clue. You have no clue what God has given you. Yes, if you compare, maybe you didn't make that much money or you didn't, but you have food to live, you have a body to kind of work with, you have hunger, you have a kitchen. Everybody has that means, and more importantly, you have Gita that you can aspire to. The reason is, you will realize that all this is really, really temporary. It's not worth fighting over. I got 3.94, you got 3.93. Yeah. Doesn't matter. In the end. Or, he's getting a 700k package. Good Lord, I'm just getting 200. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you have 700k, and the problem will be that I will buy 4 Teslas and big mansion in some place, and then you lose the job, another kind of anxiety. Don't worry that, if people are making money, they are happy. Nobody in this world is happy without Krishna consciousness, or without having some spiritual goals in life. You might be thinking that, these people are trying to make us Hare Krishnas. No. What we are asking you is to enlighten yourself and to discover the potential the soul has. And you may choose tomorrow to become really serious practitioners of Hare Krishna, or you may find spiritual path elsewhere. We are not forcing you to kind of take our path. But the call, the clarion call is, you got the human form of life, now make the best use of it. That is the purpose. Otherwise, Krishna will say that if I disregard spirituality in the human life, then Krishna will say, you don't need a human life. Teacher life, there's so much of restriction. I have to cook prasad and I have to offer it to the God, and I can't eat certain stuffs, and I can't do this. There comes Ekadashi, which is tomorrow. I can't eat grains. What is this? I should have the freedom. I should eat whatever I want. I should eat whenever I want. And there should be no restriction. That is called freedom. And initially the idea is very attractive. There are a few problems with that. In the next life, Krishna says, if you want to live you like that, you shouldn't have a human body. I'll give you a pig's body. Pigs will eat whatever they want, whenever they want, how much ever they want, no restriction. Like, did you see in the last video that we saw, they woke up and then the geese woke up in the morning, they brushed the teeth, they took shower, and then they went to eat. No, they just eat. Krishna is saying, if you don't want rules and regulations, human life is not for you. So the problem is the so-called freedom is just being completely subservient to the mind. And Krishna is saying, when you give yourself to that uncontrolled mind which is driving you, that is in a dangerous position. So first of all, am I making sense? We'll do a few more verses of Gita and then we'll do chapter 4. Chapter 4 is what is called Jnana Yoga. And to give a brief introduction, Karma Yoga is a path where you work, I'll do my work, and I'll offer the results to Lord Vishnu. Or Lord Vishnu is a person who at least I'm aware that there is a God I need to offer work. The work is not for my own self. When I do the work for my own self, then Krishna is saying you are bound by your own thing. And I gave the example before, I'll give again. If a soldier kills the enemies in the war under the command of a superior officer and shows extraordinary bravery, he or she gets a medal, correct? But the same soldier who picks up a fight in a restaurant when he is off duty and kills someone is not going to get a medal because that's on you. You had no directive to kill people like that. It is not appropriate. So you can see how, at least in Karma Yoga, you see that I have to act under certain authority. There are Vedas, and in the human form of life, I have some obligation to act. So that awareness comes in the 3rd chapter. In the 4th chapter, Krishna talks of Jnana Yoga, or the Transcendental Knowledge. And you can spend $100,000 a year in Harvard, Yale, MIT, Princeton, Duke, Stanford, Berkeley, you will not get this knowledge. This transcendental knowledge. Here we are getting free of cost. Text, chapter 4, text 1. And you repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Imam Vivashvate Yogam
Imam Vivashvate Yogam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Proktavanaham Avyayam
Vivashvan Manave Praha
Vivashvan Manave Praha
Manur Ikshvakave Bravi
Manur Ikshvakave Brave.
Hare Krishna. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed these imperishable signs of yoga to the sun god. Vivasvan instructed to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Srisvaku.
Thank you. Text 2. Evam parampara praptam
Evam parampara praptam
Imam rajarshayo viduhu
Imam rajarshayo vidu
Sakale neha mahata
Sakale neha mahata
Yogo nashta parantapa
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Hare Krishna. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Thank you. Text 3. Sa evayam maya tedya
Sarevayam maya तेद्या
योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः
योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः
भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति
भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति
रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम्
रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम्.
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science.
This is so nice. Krishna, first of all, he says, Hare Krishna, thank you for coming. So Krishna says a couple of things. First thing he says is that initially I spoke this knowledge to Sun God. Sun God is, even by the modern science calculations, is billions and billions of years old. And then he mentions that the Sun God spoke to, and Manu spoke to Ikshvaku, his son. So in this way, and then he says in this way, the knowledge was passed down from the student, from the teacher to the student, who became the teacher and passed it down. And Krishna mentions, but this science appears to have been lost. And that's how the nature of this world is. When Krishna speaks something, over a period of time that gets covered. And it gets covered by his own time. It's not like, oh, Krishna spoke, it's getting covered. He allows it to be covered, so he comes back again and again. In 4th chapter, we hear the famous verses. Mahabharata verses, anybody knows the serial Mahabharata? Parikranaya.
Sadhunam vinashaya chatuskritam.
He'll come in few verses down the line here. So he comes every yuga to revive that particular knowledge. And the important thing he says is, he gives two qualities to Arjuna. You can understand Gita because you are bhakta, means you are my devotee, and you are my sakha friend. So at least we will say, oh, Arjuna was the friend and he was a devotee, but I am not. How will I understand Gita? And can I even understand? The idea is, you don't become an immediate friend of Krishna or a devotee, but at least assume in that position. I am open. I am willing to act as a devotee of Krishna, to at least openly hear what he has to say, and I will be his well-wisher. Well-wisher in the sense that I don't need to blaspheme Krishna. A well-wisher, I am his well-wisher. He is God, at least theoretically I accept it. He is my friend. And truly he is your friend. If you are stuck in the middle of, suppose you are driving, say to Arizona, for a while. Arizona or Death Valley. Let's take Death Valley National Park. Really nice. The name also is kind of nice. Death Valley National Park. People go there to see stars. And summer is coming up. No, summer people won't go. Winter. Because summer people will go means it will be true to its name. You go into Death Valley and then you want to see the stars. And then you park outside and you see the stars. Beautiful stars and everything is like in the middle of night, you're all alone, people go to discover themselves, and then they and then suddenly you come back, car is not starting, done, dead. And then you call all your close friends, they will say, Baba, we are 4 hours away, sorry, we can't come. One friend comes. Will you accept that he's your true friend who came in when literally you're in the middle of night, you have no clue, the car is not starting, and the friend is come to kind of help you. Even if that friend doesn't know anything, he comes, he is clueless or she is clueless about how the car starts. At least that person comes and says, I'll stay with you till the morning, till we get the tow truck or whatever, or a mechanic and fix it. You'll be so grateful, correct? Because that friend came, he did nothing or she did nothing, but at least he or she came. But what sort of friend Krishna is that he is in your heart life after life after life. You are stuck in jams, you are stuck every which way. He's still there with you as Paramatma. He's never giving up on you. So theoretically you should understand that Krishna is my friend. He's sitting in my heart. He never gives up on me. I may be a pig loitering in gutters in Vrindavan or other places. Vrindavan is still a pig, but other places eating abominable things. Or I am a pigeon, I am a geese, Arctic geese. Krishna is there in the heart. At least theoretically accept, yeah, he is my friend. And I wish to kind of know more about this Krishna, and if he, and being a devotee kind of, being a devotee, I'm sufficient, I'm self-sufficient. But everybody is a devotee. I'll tell you how. Go to a rock concert. We recently had World Cup in India. How many devotees were there? And cricket was the altar. Pitch was the altar. Everybody was chanting and dancing. Same thing. You are naturally a devotee. If you don't be a devotee of Krishna, you will be a devotee of cricket. And all these people are playing our gods. That's why they use the word what? Goat? The goat only, Geo. Nothing against cricket. Because I am born and raised in India. But the point here is, and forget cricket, and I use NFL, the same thing. People go crazy, they spend so much of money and they cheer for their stars and they put the posters of their famous stars in the rooms and they he's my hero. Make Krishna your hero. Try. Put poster of Krishna in your room. Why not? Try for some time. You will be a devotee one way or other, become devotee of Krishna. And you will realize that it's much more happiness. He is willing to reciprocate with you. You can put the film star and everything in the sports star in the room and everything, but they won't reciprocate with you. Try with Krishna. He's infallible. He always reciprocates. So far so good. Bhaktosi me sakachati vaisha.
Yes. So you said Krishna is with us.
So you have to take the mic because Ananga Gopika might not listen to your question.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji, you said Krishna is with us in the heart, but he is actually everywhere, right? In every atom. So why? What is actual meaning in saying he is with us in the heart? Because he is, like everywhere. So what does it make special? That statement. And follow-up question, which also you will help me with, to understand what does it mean he's in the heart, like any specification, to understand like how it is can be imagined.
Thank you. So he is spread everywhere as well as he is in the heart. I'll give an example. One example is if you go to a big factory, right? And you will see that, you go and talk to the people like, how are things, and, oh yeah, my boss is amazing, he comes this and that, and this, whose factory is it? My factory's boss and everything. So you can see how that his words, his property is spread across the factory, correct? He's spread everywhere, oh yeah, the boss says we have to do this, and everybody is conscious of it. And his energy in the form of words and his belongs to his. Control is his. He's everywhere. But he's sitting with you in the room and talking. He's sitting right there. So he has the power. If a factory owner can have that kind of power where his influence spreads all over the factory and he's present everywhere, at least in the heart of the people, and at the same time he's talking to you, and God has also three forms. It is mentioned God as Brahman, God as Paramatma, and God as Bhagavan. So as Brahman, he is all pervading, spread everywhere. As Paramatma, he is sitting in your heart. Going to Hare Krishna. So he's sitting in your heart. And Bhagavatam mentions he is 8 inches in length. And he is having 4 arms. And Bhagavatam has a detailed description of Paramatma.
So even a cat has like 4 legs.
Yes. Yes. Maybe you can pull up if that this one.
Or the picture.
Here. See the left picture.
So it's like 4 inches of the, which size, for the cat size of think that's
So at least in the human form it is.
Page 246.
Yeah. At least in the human form it is. In the other forms he may be smaller or less, but he's always pervading. He's there in bacteria. He's there in worms, everywhere. Every jiva, every earthworm actually is Atma. And Paramatma is right next to the Atma. Never gives up.
So when we die, he comes with us, like with our soul.
Because I earlier mentioned, right? We talked of karma. If I do activities now, I'll get karma in other lifetimes. That's what people say. But here is the problem. There has to be 2 or 3 things to happen, correct? There has to be first thing a witness. Somebody has to witness you have done it. Nobody is witnessing. It's like, it's weird. Right? There's no witness. There should be a judge. And there should be a person who actually gives you. All these 3 things have to be there for karma to go on, correct? And that is me in another form has to be there to experience it. I remember we had our neighbor's neighbor. She was an old lady, and she was they have been there for 40 years. They bought their house in 1978. She said it was so expensive to buy that house. I said, how much did it cost? $60,000. That house. And her husband passed away, and she said her husband's name was Paul. And she said, oh, my husband Paul passed away. And then she started listing all the family members. She said, my husband joined this person, they're all in the heaven, and I'm going to join. I'm like, hey, one family life is not enough on this earth. That's a joke. So the point is that I move to different places. The Lord moves, and the Lord is witnessing it. Lord is witnessing my activities, and therefore you get your punishment or rewards just. And Krishna is not going to interfere. If you are due to get certain wealth, you will get it. If you are due to certain happiness, you will get it. If you are due certain distress, you will get that as well. Is that helpful? Follow up.
So, considering the, I don't know how to say this, but we are transcendental, right?
Mhm.
So we have, I think, 1 by 10,000 the size of a human hair.
Correct.
Our soul.
Correct.
And Paramatma is also transcendental.
Mhm.
Same physical. I don't know physical properties, but same, right? We are
Same spiritual nature. Let me
spiritual nature.
Mm.
So why don't I don't know, like how do we cannot spatially separate. There is no point in my question, to be honest, because I just want to understand how it is.
And I'll tell you why you're struggling. Shall I?
Okay.
Because we are visualizing a world which has space. We are visualizing a world that has dimensions. But spirituality has no dimension. There is no space. I'll give an example. You say that we are like the 1 by 10,000 tip of a human hair. But that small particle can actually power an entire blue whale. Did you think about it? So it is not the tininess of the soul, it is the intense, brilliant spirit soul that can power the whole blue whale, an elephant, or a huge person in this world, 7'4", 7'8", whatever. The same soul powers it. So the soul is pervading this body by the grace of Paramatma. If I as a soul can pervade this body, then the Lord as Paramatma can pervade this whole universal body or this material world. But at the same time be hidden in it. I mean, if the Lord is pervading, why don't I see Him? Because I don't have the eyes to see Him. Only through bhakti can I get the eyes to see Him. Is that helpful? You'll get more. It's when we try to fit our perspective of spirituality where the parameters of the material world don't exist, then it is hard. But you will get it as you learn and advance in bhakti. Because Krishna says that to that point, Yomam Pashyati Savara, that yogi will see everywhere, he will see in me and everything in me. He will come to that point. He will come in the 6th chapter, he will come, 5th or 6th chapter will come. Alright. Okay, this is 7:45. So we'll stop here, Gita. I said I will introduce the surprise. So, we will spend some time in Gita and remaining time we will read Bhagavatam. We'll spend time in Bhagavatam. And today, I hope it delights few members in the audience. I know it will delight one person particularly. We will start the prayers by Prahalad Maharaj. And I'll give the story of what Prahalad Maharaj, what are the prayers. I'll give the backlog. Most of us know the story of Prahalad and Hiranyakashipu. We know that how Jaya and Vijay fell down from the spiritual world and they were cursed to be demons for 3 worlds. The story itself is extremely fascinating. We will talk about some other time. The 4 Kumaras, they were entranced by Lord Vishnu and they wanted to see and have darshan of Lord Vishnu. They were rushing towards Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha has 7 gates. Even the modern Sri Rangam and Tirupati others have 7 gates. So Vaikuntha had 7 gates. They crossed through all the 6 gates. At the 7th gate, they were stopped by Jay and Vijay. They saw that these boys were completely naked. It is like a state dinner at the White House and you are showing up in flip-flops and tank tops and then just trying to go meet the president kind of situation. And they stopped him and there was a long story. They cursed the Jay and Vijay to have birth in the material world. The beauty is the Lord said, you can either take birth 7 times in this world in the pious family or 3 times as demon. What do you choose? The answer was instantaneous. 3 times as demons because they wanted to come back. And Lord Vishnu assured them that you will always be absorbed in me. And so Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were the first set. Hiranyaksha was killed by Varaha. It intensely angered Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to avenge the death of his brother and wanted to kill Lord Vishnu. To that end, he performed severe austerities. And I won't go too long, but the austerities were so intense that nobody performed it. And Brahma came and he asked Hiranyakashipu about the reason for his austerities and what boon he wanted. Hiranyakashipu said that I don't want to die, please I should give me the boon of immortality. Brahma said, I myself will die, I can't give you. Then Hiranyakashipu took out the insurance policy that I should neither be killed during the day nor the night. I shouldn't be killed outside or inside. I shouldn't be killed by weapons or by hands. And all the things, animals, I should be killed by, not animals, but I shouldn't be killed by devatas, any creation, everything. You can read it. Again, it's a long story. I would highly recommend, if you don't have a Bhagavatam set, please don't walk, run to get one. And these stories are there in Bhagavatam. And so he gets all the boons. Hiranyakashipu becomes so powerful that in this entire universe, except for Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, every single demigod becomes subservient to him. In fact, imagine the power you can have. You can tell the sun, don't rise at 6:48 a.m. tomorrow, rise at 7:48, and the sun has to say yes, sir. You can order Indra to say, I am walking outside, it is too much sun, provide me cloud shade. We talk of taking an umbrella and going here and there, no, provide a cloud shade. And Indra has to say, yes, sir. In fact, if Hiranyakashipu became slightly displeased at the demigods, raised his eyebrows, he was so powerful that he could control. We talk of becoming the CEO of a company, or trying to win the local elections and exert power, and worst come worst case, the biggest post in this world, the President of United States and Prime Minister of India. Oh, and then you'll be like, oh my God, amazing. Talk of Hiranyakashipu, amazing. You can just control the whole universe. And the whole universe will be bending to your will. He had that power, and he knew that nobody could kill him. He started harassing everybody. He was always drunk, intoxicated, knowing that his bowls of Brahma were untouchable. And he was really had it. If you want to have the title of the most powerful position in this universe, acquired is by Hiranyakashipu, apart from Brahma and others. Then the problem was that before he went to austerities, his wife was pregnant. His wife's name was Kayadu, pregnant with Prahalad. And the demigods had a foreboding that this demon is going to destroy us, which he did. They said, if he is such a terrible demon, his son must be extra terrible demon. Let's kill that son. So they tried to kidnap Kayadu. And then Narada intervenes. He said, please, the whole purpose was this. In the Vedic times, we talk of, don't have the wrong opinion of women in Vedic times. The women were given extraordinarily high respect. So I'll tell you why. If you have to kill the child in the womb, God forbid, I shouldn't mention this, I hate to mention this, but the easiest thing is to kill the mother. And the demigods wanted to kill Prahalad, because they never would even dream of killing a woman in Vedic times. They said, we will kidnap Kayadu, we will wait till she gives birth to Prahalad, and then do the atrocity of killing the child. But Narada intervenes. He says, you don't have to worry from the child that is in the womb of this mother. He is an extraordinarily great devotee of the Lord. And I'm going to take care of Kayadu. So he takes Kayadu into his ashram, and he instructs the science of Bhagavan and Bhagavad Dharma. And Prahalad Maharaj is in the womb. He's listening to all of these things. And so it is very auspicious to read Bhagavatam. If you are expecting or your friends or family are expecting, please, make sure that they have a Bhagavatam set, and we'll tell you how later. So Narada Muni is mentioning all these beautiful pastimes about Bhagavan, and Prahalad Maharaj is hearing in the womb of his mother. In fact, sometimes Kayadu would sleep. Poor lady, she is pregnant, it's hard to keep up with the discourses of Narada. So she would sleep, but he would be still listening as she slept. So when Hiranyakashipu came back, he was, again, the goal of Hiranyakashipu's austerity was, I need to kill Vishnu because he killed my brother, and I performed all these austerities. And he started harassing the devotees of Lord Vishnu, and he banned any worship of Vishnu anywhere. In fact, he said that I am God, you should chant my names. And Prahalad was a 5-year-old son. One day he calls him and asks him, so what did you learn? What is the best thing that you learned from your teachers? And Prahalad says that the best thing is worship of Vishnu. And Hiranyakashipu says, what? How dare? It's like, Vishnu is my enemy. And then he chastises Chanda and Amar. He says, you teachers are just spoiling and destroying my son. Please teach him proper things, otherwise off with your heads. And they go back. And then they come back and they say, Prahalad is saying the same thing again and again. Now, Hiranyakashipu is getting really angry. And then he comes to the conclusion that it has nothing to do with the teachers. This child is actually a thorn that is going to destroy my family. I need to kill Prahalad. And he tries. Oh boy, how he tries. He tries to kill him by putting him in front of elephants, like mad elephants. and that doesn't work. He tries to kill him from snakes, from putting him in boiling in fire, and he tries to kill him by throwing him from top of cliff. Every time Lord Vishnu protects him. And Hiranyakashipu is getting frustrated, angry, nervous. You know why? I had to work so hard to get immortality. This boy didn't do anything. He's getting immortality. Right? Think about it. It's like, I had to work hard and I'm trying to kill this boy. I cannot kill this boy no matter what. And then at last he says, maybe my guards are somewhat flaky. They don't want to kill a 5-year-old boy. And at last, one day he says that, I'm going to kill you. Let me see how your Lord will come and protect you. And then on and on the conversation goes, and Hiranyakashipu points to a particular pillar. He says, is your God present in the pillar? He says, everywhere, I can see he is present. Then Hiranyakashipu breaks the pillar, and out of that pillar comes a ferocious form of Narasimha Deva. He was half lion and half man. The roaring sound was like shattering, earth shattering, and he comes out. And Bhagavatam tells that there is a fight between Hiranyakashipu and Lord Narasimha Deva. And he has some fun, but Brahma says, he had enough fun, now you need to kill him. Because it is dusk and the night is going to come soon. Rakshasas will get very power at that night, and please destroy him. So at the opportune moment, Narasimha Deva kills Hiranyakashipu. He kills right on the doorstep, neither inside nor outside. And he himself is half man, half lion, so he is neither that. And he kills with his nails. Nails are neither weapons nor with bare hands. So all the conditions that Hiranyakashipu put forth have been met, and Narasimha Deva kills Hiranyakashipu. And after he kills, he's so furious, and it's pretty gory scene. I mean, he puts the Hiranyakashipu on his lap, and that's another thing. I should neither be killed on the ground. So he puts on his lap, which is neither the ground nor the air, and he rips him out. And then once the intestines come out, he takes the intestines as his garlands and puts it. It's pretty gory. And then, but this is the beauty. Even though Bhagavatam has everything. If you want to watch horror movie, I have specific references in Bhagavatam as well. This is one of them. And after he kills Hiranyakashipu, Narasimha Deva is extremely angry. He's like, how could this happen? Why did my child Prahalad have to be tortured so much? And then he's very, very angry. All the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, everybody has come, but nobody is daring to go in front of the Lord to offer prayers. They have never seen such a form of the Lord, ever seen such anger. They are super afraid. Even Lakshmi Devi was like, no, I can't deal with this anger. You know what they do? They push Prahalad. You go. And Prahalad is confident. He goes. What the prayers that Prahalad Maharaj offers to Lord Narasimha Deva is what we will discuss. Good idea?
Yes.
So the way we will do is, I will talk on one particular verse. We will chant together 5 verses, but I'll discuss one verse. And the next time it's a sliding rule. So then we will go to the next 5 set of verses. We have about total 43 verses. So we'll have a few weeks. The only thing is, I might need the 7th canto. If somebody can grab, thank you. The Bhagavatam comes in a beautiful 18 volumes. And so this is the scene that third part? Okay.
Hi, please.
Yeah, thank you. Second, part 2.
Part 2.
So we can start with the first prayer while it's coming. So kindly repeat after me. These are beautiful prayers. 7, 9.
Which one to 6?
Actually, you know what? While it's coming up, we can just somebody can read the translation. Lord Narasimha Deva just puts the hand on head of Prahalad and this is the words. Yeah, please.
By the touch of Lord Narasimha Deva's hand on Prahalad Maharaj's head, Prahalada was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Therefore, he at once became transcendently situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. His heart filled with love, and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart.
Thank you. And this is 7. Yes. Alright. 7. Somebody can do the translation, please.
Prahalad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon the Lord Narasimha Deva with full attention in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice.
Thank you. So let's do 5 verses and then I'll speak on one verse and then we can go slowly. Good?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
Kindly repeat after me. Shri Prahalada Vacha
Shri Prahalad Vacha
Brahmadayo Suragana Munayota Siddha
Brahmadaya Suragana Manayota Siddha
Satvai Katanagatayo Vachasam Pravahe
Satvai Katanagatayo Vachasam Pravahe.
Sorry, I go slow. Naraditum Purugunairaduna Pipipru
Naraditum Purugunai Aduna Pipipru
Kintoshtumarhati Same Harirugrajate
Kintoshtu Marhati Same Harirugrajate.
Translation.
Prahalad Maharaj prayed, "How is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods, headed by the Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons, could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of godness. Then what is it to be said of me? I am not at all qualified."
Okay. Before we go ahead, do you want to come forward? Anybody is space-wise? Everybody is comfortably situated? Alright. Let's do next verse. Can you repeat after me? Manye dhanabhijanarupatapashrutoja
Manye dhanabhijanarupa tapasutoja
Teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga
Teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga
Naradhanaya hi bhavanti parasya pumso
Narayananim bhavanti parasya pumso
Bhaktya tutosha bhagavan gajayutapaya
Bhaktya tutosha bhagavan gajayutapaya.
Prahalad Maharaj continued. One may possess wealth and aristocratic family, beauty, aesthetic, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him.
Thank you. Text 10. See, we'll do 3 verses. It's 804. Yeah, we'll do 3 verses. Sliding scale on 3. Kindly repeat after me. विप्राद्विषड्गुणयुतादरविन्दनाभा
विप्राद्विषद्गुणयुतारविन्दनाभा
पादारविन्दविमुखाच्छ्वपचं वरिष्ठम्
पादारविन्दविमुक्ता स्वपचं वरिष्ठम्
मन्ये तदर्पितमनोवचने हितार्थ
मन्ये तदर्पितो मनोवचने हितार्था
प्राणं पुनाति सकुलं न तु भूरिमानः
प्राणं पुनाति सकुलं न तु ब्रूहिमानः.
If a Brahmana has all 12 of the Brahmanical qualifications, as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth and life to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahmana, in a position of false prestige, cannot purify even himself.
Thank you. So we'll go back to text 8. And we'll do the purport. I'll quickly do the translation and purport. We'll go quick so that it's easy. Prahalad Maharaj prayed, "How is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are well qualified and being in the mode of goodness. Then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified." Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The Vaishnava who is fully qualified to serve the Lord still thinks himself extremely low while offering prayers to the Lord. For example, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says, "Jagai madai hoite moishe papishto, purishe rokita hoite moishe lakishto." Thus he considers himself unqualified, lower than the worms in the stool, and more sinful than Jaga and Madai. A pure Vaishnava actually thinks of himself in this way. Similarly, although Prahalad Maharaj was a pure, exalted Vaishnava, he thought himself most unqualified to offer prayers to the Supreme Lord. Mahajano yena gata sapantva. Every pure Vaishnava should think like this. One should not be falsely proud of his Vaishnava qualifications. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore instructed us, "Trinadapi shunichena tarorivasa hishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi." One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Unless one is meek and humble, to make progress in spiritual life is very difficult. So, please understand that Krishna came and he killed many demons. And he did to make sure that the demigods, they approached him saying that, the earth is being overpopulated, please come and kill him. And he comes, he kills, he performs his activities. In one sense, Narasimha Deva's avatar is more unique than Krishna because he comes only for one devotee. Of course, the demigods also ask him, we are really suffering under Hiranyakashipu, please kill him. But then he says that when he oversteps, when he performs severe offenses against my devotee Prahalad, at that point I'll come and kill him. And just for one devotee, just for one person, Lord comes as Narasimha Deva. So just think how proud should be Prahalad. Like he came for me alone. Is there anybody more fortunate than me? Since he should be just. I didn't mean that, but he'll be like, as soon as Prahalad, Narasimha Deva puts his hand on his head, wait, picture, take the selfie. Viral. And then he'll just go next to Narasimha Deva and take a picture selfie. She'll be like, so proud, God came for me. No, he says that all these great personalities, they are much, much higher than me. Brahma, Shiva, demigod, they are much higher than me. And they have much knowledge than me. I'm a 5-year-old boy, what do I know? Anything. They actually have been offering you excellent words, streams of prayers, excellent prayers coming from their mouth. And what hope do I have to satisfy you? That is the mood of Prahalad. Not the pride that comes, oh my God, look at me. And that should be the nature, because when we approach Krishna, and I want to talk about this a little bit. The pride is not artificial. Actually, think about it. How many beggars have we seen in India? Did you ever, I'll pick Anokha, why not? Did Anokha, beggar ever approach Anokha and say, hey, Anokha, give me $5, give me 5 rupees. Hey, why are you not giving? Yes? So they have humility. But that humility is born of ignorance or tamaguna. It's mentioned, dainya is mentioned in Bhagavatam. The Lord says that of tamaguna, dainya can be born as well. So that is artificial humility. The genuine humility only comes when you see the Lord, start realizing the Lord and seeing how small you are in front of Him. It becomes a natural part of humility. So that comes through cultivation of bhakti. There should be a starting humility, but that should expand. Just like you put money in some funds or seed venture capital, whatever. That money, you start with a little money, and that should grow because of being very astute and doing all kinds of things. So initially there is certain humility, but then it has to grow genuinely and organically when one is performing bhakti. To artificial humility is not going to be much help at all. So as a practicing devotees, we have both. We need to have that certain amount of confidence in the work we do, but at the same time, we know that we are falling short of this humility, that dainya that we need to approach God. Is that helpful? So we have to have both. Because I should be humble means just I'm not a walkover for anything. That people will take advantage and will exploit you, and then you will be like, what is this bhakti? God has to protect me. I did for God, God is not protecting me. Well, God never said be a walkover or a pushover. And shall I tell you something ironical?
Yes.
Prahalad Maharaj is saying that I am nobody. I am like very, very fallen. I can't even offer proper prayers. But the same Prahalad was defying his father. All Prahalad could have said, and Hiranyakashipu said, you don't talk or glorify Lord Vishnu, you don't chant his names. He could have silently worshipped. And then when he came in front of his father, Hiranyakashipu, oh, you are amazing, you are the absolute truth. In the side, you are fool. Oh, head on he took on, he said, openly in front of his ministers, he said that you are a fool. He didn't say in so many words, but we can go the 7th canto, you and me, we can sit till you retire, till I retire or die, we can read 7th canto. So he said, no, I'm going to worship Lord Vishnu. He tried to kill him, but he said, you can kill me, but I'm going to defy you. The same Prahalad who is so humble and meek, but then and this 5-year-old boy had no protection other than the father, and the father ruled the entire universe. Now you tell me the situation, tell me the equation. He defied, he said, no, you can do whatever you want to do, I will never stop worshiping Lord Vishnu. So, from the life of Prahalad, we learn that fierce and intense faith in Lord's protection, but at the same time extreme humility. That is where we kind of come to the conclusion that we are really advanced in devotional service. Not that somebody threatens and says, hey, you don't do bhakti, then you'll be like, okay, sorry, no. Having said that, we have to follow certain etiquette. I'll tell you what I mean by that. I mean, most of us go to office, right? Even I go to office. I can't go to office like this. Right? I'm a Vaishnava. This is what I wear. Show the door. Yes? I mean, imagine if I have to be as a car salesman at a Toyota dealership or a Honda dealership or whatever dealership. This is my lifestyle. God will protect me. I'm going to be like this. You walk out of it, correct? So we have to have certain practicality and faith in the Lord. The fundamental philosophy will never waver on, but the externals can change. So there are many nuances to the humility aspect of it. Today is one day I feel that I've been doing all the speaking and there has been no questions coming. So that is in a nutshell of the first verse, Manye Dana Vijanaru. So no, the second one is that Brahma they are offered. So this first verse highlights the extreme humility of Prahalad Maharaj. We have 14 more minutes. I would open it up for discussion. Those who are feeling little uncomfortable sitting on floor, we will have all the chairs. We can get more chairs. Prabhu, yes, please, pass the mic.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for talking about Prahalad Maharaj. Yes, very grateful. My question is, Prahalad went through a lot, right? Yeah, literally being pushed off the cliff. In the sense he was, but then every situation was like he was literally being, pushed to the edge. Why a devotee like him has to go through something like that? To be pushed off the cliff every time, and can also relate things happening in our lives where you tend to be like, hey, am I getting pushed off the edge? Right? Is that the reason that happens is that is Krishna expecting us to surrender? And that's my question for you.
Every test that Krishna gives to us can be taken two ways. He will give the test, but we can interpret in one or two ways. It can bring us closer to Krishna, or it can push us farther away from Krishna, based on my attitude. And that is one aspect. If I think like this, that I deserve this, but Krishna is giving me 80% discount on my sins. Because I don't know the frame of reference. I might have committed a very negative action, and when I'm surrendered to Krishna, Krishna might purify us by giving only 20%. But I don't know the 100% reference, so I think 20% is 100%. So having that faith that Krishna is giving me this so that I can be purified. And this attitude will capture Krishna. Guaranteed. Mukharand Prabhu 10:14:8. Yes. We'll do that verse. This is another beautiful verse from Bhagavatam, where Brahma, he tried to bewilder Krishna, he himself was bewildered. But that's a whole other pastime. If I do it now, then we'll be here all night. I don't think that's what we want. Not a bad idea, but more an Ekadashi. Technically, it seems that you have to fast before, and you have to, the whole of Ekadashi do it and then fast. It's extremely complicated. Anyways, kindly repeat after this verse. This is what Brahma is saying. Tattenu kampam susamikshmano
Tattenu kampam susamikshmano
bhunjana
Paripakam
Vidvagvapurvirvidadhan namaste
Vidvakapurvirvidadhan namaste
Jiveti yo muktipade sadaya bhav
Jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhav.
Bro, please do the translation. We have the mic anyways. If you can see, you can do the translation.
My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim.
It has become his rightful claim. So when Krishna gives the trouble, what is my attitude? So this verse actually highlights it. If you can just think that this is Krishna's mercy. And the other thing is, Krishna usually gives troubles you can tolerate. Only for his extreme devotees he might push to the extreme limit. Like as you rightly mentioned, Prahalad, Pandavas, or you can Ambarish. There are so many stories in Bhagavatam that he pushed to the extreme limits. But to the extent one has faith in Krishna, to that extent, actually the troubles inflicted by Krishna is pleasure. I'll repeat that. To the extent one has faith in Krishna, the troubles inflicted by Krishna is pleasure. In fact, Queen Kunti, you think Srivas Pandit Das has lost it. I think he's getting old. No, it is there in Bhagavatam. Queen Kunti actually says it, that whenever we have troubles, you came, you showed us your form. Now that we have won the kingdom, all our enemies are kind of not there, we are free from dangers, you are going away. I don't want that. Might as well have dangers, but I'll have your darshan. So you can see how the dangers were inferior compared to darshan of Krishna that they were getting on a regular basis. So it is just if we can say that Krishna, you are my well-wisher under all circumstances, and the troubles you are giving me is only for my purification so that I can come back to you, then it is become his rightful claim. The verse says, just that attitude is capturing Krishna. Is that helpful?
Yes, Prabhu. So if I may ask for follow-up.
Yes, please.
So what in between, right? In the sense, these devotees are so exalted that they can have this attitude, but I'm like way below, right? So what, anything practical
Thank you.
that we can do?
Agreed. I'm so glad you asked. Thank you, you asked. Because people will think any trouble comes, it's okay. If I'm having fever, it's God's mercy, I'll do nothing. If my child has a fever, God will no. Please take care of yourself or the situation that needs to be averted. Please do the needful. You have to take, I have given my body to Krishna. I don't need to exercise. I can eat as much as I want, no exercise. You will die shortly. Because Krishna is not giving us the free license. It is that I'll do the due diligence, but at the same time, I'll depend on Krishna. And if there are troubles, we try to counter it. We try to do the best we can to, as far as our intelligence goes, we try to counter it. But beyond that, we will realize our helplessness. They hit the limits of helplessness. That time we can say this is Krishna's arrangement and I just have to tolerate it. So there is an English saying, and I think it's very apt. Anusha agrees. What cannot be cured must be endured. Try your best to cure it. If you cannot, then it is Krishna's mercy. I mean, one uses one's intelligence to kind of determine it. It can be very ridiculous. My child comes for food. This is Tattenu Kampam. It's ridiculous. That's not the point. But there are major events in life. How many times it happened? You tried every which way, but the problems just becomes insurmountable. You just can't do anything. You become helpless with it. I mean, ask a cancer patient, for example, how helpless they feel. Or ask a person who is in a wheelchair, struck with paralysis or coma. They didn't want it. It is so based on one's discrimination, the idea here is this, that earlier in life you start depending on Krishna, then Krishna will give you intelligence to say, this is caused by me, don't do anything, just endure it, versus do something about it. Arjuna was like, no, I don't want to fight this war, this is too much. I don't want to cause. Krishna says, no, I caused this situation, you will fight on my behalf. And Krishna and Arjuna said, yes. So that Krishna conscious practice, right, as early as you can do in your life, to that extent Krishna will give you intelligence from within to say, this is your problem versus my problem, and deal with it. Otherwise everything will become my problem and it just becomes overwhelming to deal with. Helpful? Is that helpful, bro? Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So I want to just add on to the question that Prabhu asked, regarding, and you mentioned, the way I understood it, that physical ailments or material issues, you kind of have to endure and retain. But there are a lot of times when it's more in the mind, and especially when we are dealing with, a lot of other people around us. And how do you retain the mode of bhakti, or what does a true devotee approach life with people around that may or may not be very helpful, in the sense to that joy of life, right? That you're not feeling that, then how do you manage that as a?
So you can take it in two ways. If I'm expecting joy from life and I'm not getting it, then maybe I can seek joy from Krishna. Point one. Point two is, this is my, as I said before, I didn't get a menu card where I'll be born, correct? In which family I'll be born. Who will be my siblings? Who will be my father? Who will be my brother? Who will be my, all those. I don't get a menu card. So please understand that Krishna has placed you in such a way that if there are certain mental anguishes or mental disturbances coming from family or from your own mind, then it is best to tolerate at that point of time, because you try to fix or correct them. If it is, and it could be, please understand, then again, I'm talking of family, but if it means there is an abuse, there is a physical abuse or sexual or whatever be it, do the activities you need to do. I'm not saying that. Please don't take it as everything is passive. No. But the idea is, to that extent that has been inflicted, is it my past karma I am undergoing, or is it that person's nature? I've been put in this position, why? And you can try your best, and then you can actually make a solution to it. If it's your own mind that's bothering you, then you should ask your own mind. You should have a conversation with your mind. Mind is like fear, anger, hurry, and you should question why. Why are you afraid? Why are you fearful? Why are you rushing? Where are you going? It is incumbent on each and every one of us to kind of pull back our mind. Nobody is going to do for us. And the whole of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, your mind is your greatest friend if it is controlled, and it's the worst of the enemy if you just let it go. So then armed with this knowledge, it becomes your choice to kind of regulate and train the mind on a regular daily basis. And by practicing Bhakti Yoga, I'm guaranteeing you it will. Because the mind which is seeking feverishly after material objects, when it visualizes the beauty of Krishna, your mind will be like, okay, your mind is pacified. You know what, just for your sake, we will do one verse that actually, like Bharapidam. Actually, you know what, let's do Bharapidam. I don't remember which was. Is it again? It's yes. And you repeat after me. Barhapidam natavaravu karnayo karnikaram.
Barhapidam natavaravu Shrutim Chamalam
Randran Venor Adhara Sudaya Purayan Gopa Vrinde
Randran Venor Adhara Sudaya Purayan Gopa Vrinde
Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishad Gita Kirtihi
Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishta Gita Kirti.
Translation, please.
Hare Krishna. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, blue karnikara flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavana, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories.
Just remember, read this verse. It's like your mind will be like, you'll be so happy. It's like, okay, this is such a beautiful picture of Krishna. That his complexion is dark bluish and he's wearing the garland of forest flowers. His dhoti is yellow and it's just amazingly beautiful as you. The mind is like very satisfied. There is no other way to satisfy the mind except to divert the mind from Krishna. There are other means, but in this age it's not possible. Smartphones, sorry. Only Krishna has the power to divert the mind away from smartphones, trust me. But verses like these, they just fill your heart. You're just like, there is somebody who's worth, beautiful, glorifying. There is somebody who's worth worshipping. There is somebody who's worth, giving our heart to, and it won't be crushed or broken or rejected or repelled. That is Krishna. Is that helpful? More questions? It's 8:32. Yes. Yes. He raised his hand. So. All right. You decide.
Thank you, Prabhu. First of all, thanks a lot, Prabhu. You started Bhagavatam. Today we are going to continue on that. So first question on that, mine is, as you said, Jog, that four Sanatan, they cursed Jai Vijay, and then 3 yugas started, right? We know that. Then why that Kali Yuga started? Already done, 3 yugas, God came, they burned, and all Leela finished. Then what is the purpose of Kali Yuga?
From their perspective, there is nothing to Kali Yuga. They had to take 3 births, they were done. If you really want to get into the nitty-gritty and academics, they came back as Jaga and Madai to help Mahaprabhu's pastimes. But otherwise, they were done in 3 yuga. Satya, Treta and Dwapar, they were done. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and Shishupal and Dantava. So they were done. And it is mentioned how Shishupal, when his head was chopped off by Krishna's chakra, the Atma of Shishupal actually merged into the body of the Lord Krishna, and then he was done. But they just came to help him. That is for those who are keeping track. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Prabhu. And another one is, I think I asked in one of the last one. As we know something is wrong, but the mind actually is not accepting that. Example, I'll say, we know that non-veg, I will say chicken, that is wrong, and I know that is really we should not do. Sometimes, let's say, with a time period, mind accepts, yes, this is wrong, I should not do cruelty to others, animals, anywhere, anything. What is allowed, I should take that. But while it is coming to, let's say, onion garlic, one is not ready to accept. See, I'm allowed as per Shastra, it's allowed for me because it comes under the tree. But we know by reading Gita, we got to know tamas it creates. But still, mind is not accepting it. It is every time you struggle with it. Sometimes you try it, but it is not. And one more, whenever we work or let's say we are going to office and all, sometimes it happens to fight a little very great fight because of your argument, to prove your argument. But sometimes when after less 1 hour, some can come, "Hey, why you argue this a lot? Not required." He means boss is not listening. "Hey, but what's your problem?" But at that time you are not feeling it, right? Because you are in that maybe that mode of nature, as you discussed. Some of the you told might be Rajaguna or Tamaguna at that time, you are not able to think like that. But after 1 hour or 2 hours, you are realizing it. No, I should not have tell that one. Knowing that things and theoretically, practically, you are not applying. You are unable to apply it.
I'll give a short answer. We can discuss more during Prashadams. So regarding onion garlic, don't try to immediately give up because if you are used to it. My request is that you sincerely try giving up, but more importantly, adopt some bhakti practices. Maybe reading one verse of Bhagavatam and chanting one round every day. Those actually fortify the mind in the mode of goodness, and the mind slowly gets automatically detached. When you force yourself, then you'll be like, at least this much is this is my enjoyment in life. I don't want to give it up. It's okay. So you can force and fail, but at least what you can do is adopt some spiritual practices that's a positive counterbalance to just saying no to mind blindly. If you just say no to mind blindly without adopting spiritual practices, then your mind will go why. So do both, please, and try organically. You can just. Sometimes you will succeed, sometimes you will fail. That is the path of sadhana bhakti. And then Krishna will actually protect you. Because the intention is sincere, then Krishna will protect you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That will be the last question. Just because we should, but it's getting really late. But
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thanks a lot for today's talk. Prabhu, the prayers which you finally told from the Bhagavatam, that leads to the Narasimha Kavacham, right? So can you just give a translation of the Narasimha Kavacham which Prahalad Maharaj told to Narasimha?
it is not there in Bhagavatam. It is in some other Purana, Narasimha Purana, I believe. So it is little different, but these prayers are as good as Narasimha Kavacham. There is 1 or 2 prayers in Bhagavatam, in the 5th canto, where we can look up, where we can do the prayers. But let's continue with these prayers for now.
Sure.
Or one last. Why not? Alright. If there is nothing else, then we can do 2 minutes of kirtan. Then we can shall.
Yes.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare